But you had an email this week about someone asking, why don't you guys go through defensive players / sleepers, studs, duds. So what do you got on the defensive front, Mark?
I had a call, I'm not a caller, I had an email, from off the website, and he asked about, we give studs, duds, and sleepers, could I do it for IDP? And I thought, sure, this is a great idea. Stud this week, Lofa Tatupu, linebacker, he's got a great matchup. Dud, Quentin Jammer for San Diego. Just don't like the way he's playing, and it's just not a good week to play him. Sleeper, Kelvin Hayden, defensive back for Indianapolis, is with Bob Sanders out, he's going to have to do a lot more work, and I see a lot more. One of the scoring categories is passes defended. He should be good in that area, and especially also tackles. So those are stud, dud, and sleeper IDP for the week.
Well, we know a lot of people do the IDP league, so we'll try to insert that in every week. We are here 8 to 9 every Saturday morning here on Sports Radio 1450. You are listening to Fantasy Football 101. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. I'm kind of torn. I have 3 running backs, Frank Gore, Reggie Bush, and Marshawn Lynch, and I can play 2 of them. I'm kind of leaning towards Gore and Bush just because I've been looking at what some of the folks say, and you know, not that you can count on them, but that Lynch doesn't run the ball particularly well against Arizona. They don't give up a lot of yards, you know, running, but more receiving. What would you all suggest?
I'd definitely go with Gore.
Yeah, I had him for sure. I was thinking Gore and Bush, or the direction I was leaning.
All 3 of these guys are must-starts every week in my book, so you're really looking at a coin flip, if you ask me.
Now, you mentioned Bush. Now, again, is this a PPR league?
There you go.
I do get points per reception, yes.
Okay, there's one answer. If it's a PPR league and you have Reggie Bush, I mean, they go hand in hand. You have to start him. And then I go with Gore as the other, even though it'd be tough not to. I mean, you've got a situation like the other caller. You've got 3 good plays. I'd have to put Bush in there, and then just pick one of the other 2. And I don't think you'd go wrong either way.
Nope. And I was thinking more Bush just because of the receptions and even
right.
returning
Eric
kick.
brought that up earlier, and that's a good point. He should have. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for between 4 to 10 receptions for this game. And I tell you what, those points are big.
Oh yeah.
The other question I had, I picked up Kurt Warner in a couple of my leagues. I've got the choice between he and Roethlisberger, and I think Roethlisberger's so banged up, I almost have to lean with going with Kurt Warner.
Yeah, Warner's got a tough matchup against Buffalo Bills. They're good against the pass, but I'm like you. Roethlisberger is just so beaten up over the last few weeks. I just don't know if I'd have a lot of confidence in him, especially against a good team like Jacksonville on the road. So I think Warner would be a good play for you there.
And one last question. Since Anquan Bolden's out, and I have him in 2 of my leagues, my other receivers have buys. Would you recommend, just for the week, because I have some flexibility in that, picking up maybe another Cardinal receiver, like a Breeston possibly?
Yes, absolutely. He's going to have a nice week.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Guys, enjoying the show. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks for the phone call. 529-1450 is that number, 529-1450. And on the webpage, too, sportsradio1450.com. And just loving the way everything's going. Week number 5 here. It's going real quick. Injuries mounting up, though, so that's why we have plenty to talk about each and every week. And we love the phone calls. 529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Quick question. I have Moss, Welker, and Driver. I want to trade one of them. Who should I trade? Thank you.
Well, I tried to trade Donald Driver myself, but only because Moss is someone that you want to have on your roster regardless. Welker, though, he's on the same team, so I'd probably try to trade Moss or Welker if I'm this guy.
You'd probably get more value out of Welker than you would out of a Don Driver. If you try to move a Donald Driver, who knows who someone will be willing to come off.
Not going to get much.
Not really giving them much. Randy Moss has shown, at least in that first week, he went for over 100 and a touchdown with Matt Castle, so there's a possibility he could do something. And again, point per reception. Wes Welker has 19 catches on the year, so he's catching a few balls, but he's not really there in the yardage or touchdowns, so I think you get more value out of Welker.
I'd have to wait and see, especially with New England coming off the bye week. Let's see what Belichick's come up with for the next few weeks. I'd try to trade Driver before I do the New England receiver.
There you go. 529-1450 is the phone number. 529-1450. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Yes. I have made a trade. I wonder if this is pretty good. Tom Brady for Albert Pujols.
Good one. Yeah.
I would say that's a perfect
Albert
trade.
Pujols every week play. I think he's got a great arm, but, he's got that ligament problem, so be careful. He may not be throwing deep too much.
He's scored almost as much as Tom Brady this year. So
darn near.
He's going to score a goal.
Yeah.
Well, they're both MVPs, that's for sure. I'm just going to go out on a limb and think that person was a Cub fan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and think that they were joking. And they thought that we were going to not
just don't pick
acknowledge
up O.J. Simpson, then you'll be good. Because he's going to jail. 529-1450 is the phone number. We do have another phone call, and I'm hoping this one's legit. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have both Jay Cutler and also Tony Romo. Who would you play the next 2 weeks? Is Jay Cutler for real?
Oh, yeah.
Jay Cutler's for real.
He's for real.
Yep, and he's got a good duo of receivers. Romo, he's got T.O., and you know what that means week to week. You just don't know. But you've got, again, you're in a situation, you could play either one and not really have to worry. I like Cutler this week against Tampa Bay, honestly, but, again, don't worry about it. Plug in one and be happy.
Yeah, Romo should be good, though, this week, too, against the Bengals.
Sure,
I mean, they're going to light those guys up. As far as next week, if you're going to look ahead, because he said in the next 2 weeks, Denver's hosting Jacksonville. That's kind of a tough matchup defensively. And Dallas. They're Arizona. I'd stick with Romo for a couple weeks.
Yep, me too.
529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're listening to Fantasy Football 101.
Guys, I'll preface this. I have to start John Kitna with my 0-4 fantasy team, so I feel the pain.
You have my sympathy.
So do I start Roy Williams or Isaac Bruce? And do I start Chris Johnson or Michael Pittman, who I recently picked up? I'll hang up and listen.
All right, thanks for the call. I'd definitely start Chris Johnson. He's shown a lot this year, and he's going to get the ball a lot this week. I have a feeling Lendo White is listed as probable, so that gives the ball even more to Chris Johnson. As far as the wideouts go, like I said earlier, Roy Williams did pop up on my injury report, but I'd still play him over Isaac Bruce.
Yeah, you have to. Those are your options. You have to go Roy Williams.
And especially if he's playing Kitna, then go ahead and play Williams and take the chance that Kitna may get lucky and throw a couple touchdown passes to him and get points both ways.
Now, being a Niners fan, they are playing New England, who's definitely down. So, you might want to take your chances with Ike.
Yeah. Well, I can.
Or Arnaz
No
Battle would be
to
better.
The caller, but I kind of sense why he might be 0-4.
My friend he's got Isaac Bruce, and after the first week, he dropped him because he didn't catch any balls or anything, right? And then the next week, Isaac had 125 yards and a touchdown, and so he picked him back up, but he left him on the bench, and he's just been progressively very consistent the last couple weeks, and he's like, I'm sticking with him the entire year. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that happens to me every week. Every time I don't play Edgerrin James, he scores 2 touchdowns. Every time. So this week I'm not going to play him, and guess what? He's probably going to score 2 touchdowns.
That's it goes like that for all of us. There's always one player on your roster that you just can't gauge right.
Right. Well, another reason why I don't like playing a guy that's playing another guy in that team, especially Monday night when everyone's watching, and I'm like, why didn't I play that guy? We are definitely running out of time, but we'll take your phone calls. 529-1450 is the phone number. It's time now to run through our studs, duds, and sleepers for the week. We've all